My name is Tosi. I run youth programs. Alaska Pride Youth Programs is what I represent. And I run the mall, Northway Mall. How many of you have been there in the past? Yay, some of you guys have, and if you haven't, put that on your bucket list, please. Definitely get on over there. But before that, I played in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals and broke my neck, and that ended. But even before that, I would have never thought I had that opportunity if someone didn't take a role in my life and actually. So I had a coach, a mentor, come into my life when I was in 10th, 11th grade, and so from there, I remember because my parents left, they left the state and moved back to San Diego, California, where we grew up, and I remember trying to figure out on what to do here and what am I going to do? What's motivating me to actually want to go to school and be involved with school? And but also, being poor was an issue for us. That every day I would go to bed kind of hungry and trying to figure out where my next meal was going to come from. And so one day when I was actually deciding when I was going to go to school the next day, I remember my friends, they were running the streets and they were selling drugs and doing things out there that weren't so good. And I remember them eating well and having nice shoes and things like that. And I got tired of not having things and trying to figure out where we're going to stay and our next meal. So the next day when I went to school, I decided, I guess I'm going to sell drugs too, because how else am I going to pay for my meal? And so when I was saying this, I remember going into my coach's office when I was playing basketball, and I remember going in there and I sat there. And when I sat there, I didn't say anything about what I was going to do, but I remember him coming up to me and said, "Mao, here's $20. Go get me a burrito and grab yourself something to eat." And so that day, I remember going to get something to eat, and I said, I guess I'm not going to sell drugs today, And so the next day, I was hungry again, and I just went in there. And I remember him saying to me again, "Mao, here's $20. Go get me a burrito, grab yourself something to eat." And so that time when I was walking, I actually remembered saying to myself, he would be really disappointed if he heard what I was going to go do, And I felt so strongly and I felt like he cared about me. And it was something that he didn't have to say that he cared for me. It was showing, that his actions were enough for me that year, my junior year at East High School, that I actually decided, what, I'm going to make this guy proud. Here I am trying to just be something, but just that little piece, it was just enough for me. That year, I was all-state in basketball. We won the state championship, and so going into my senior year, and I remember, not knowing how to pay for our trip to fly out of state to go compete in a tournament, but he helped me out again to where I had to go coach, kindergarten basketball, and had all these little kids hanging on me, and I remember how it was fun. I really enjoyed teaching these kids and showing these kids, but it was something I felt confident in doing because I play basketball, and who doesn't love to hang out with high school kids, as far as these young kids. So from there, I earned my opportunity to fly out of state, but it was through him. And so as I was going, and here I was, a senior in high school, that I ended up player of the year in basketball, and we won the state championship again. But that year was the year I knew I had the chance to go off to college. And so from there, I went off to college. I played basketball, I played football, and did pretty well for myself. I got drafted to the Arizona Cardinals and thought my life was going to be in the NFL. So in my third year, I broke my neck, and so I left the NFL flat broke and trying to figure out how to pick myself up. But through the skills I've learned as an athlete, I learned that you got to pick yourself up, wipe yourself off, and start again. And so moving up here, I moved back to Anchorage and started having my own children, and realized that there were so many issues out there in our community that I felt strongly about. And I remember looking at my son and I was saying, you know, a lot of the regrets I have in my life, you will not. Because, not saying I'm going to force you to do certain things in your life, but you're going to be aware of your options. You're going to have choices out there. And so as I was saying this, it really hit me so hard that if I can do this for my son, why can't I do this for others? And so that's how I started these youth programs, AK Pride, is because someone else did it for me. So I go now and I work on that. So the mission of AK Pride, so I'll go to that, is that our goal is to increase the chances of success. But the way we do it is we use the things we love, athletics. They're all tools to develop their life skills, to develop their workforce development. So a lot of it is to encourage them to chase their dreams, but don't forget about your plan B. And so I'm one that's kind of the example, but it's to find those other examples. Like you hear from some of us up here that represent the Frisbee golf here, that's a great option, you know, and then with the gardens over there, those are all great options. It's really, the mission is to increase their chances of success after high school. And I'm really fortunate that I get to do this work out there and try my best to better our city or state, but it's because of the sport, you know, it's because we're all trying to maximize the many resources that are very limited out there for greater impact. But it's something that's not a one-person thing, but it's doing it together. So so that's kind of all I have for it, and kind of going from there. That if you want more information, try to find the Big Harry Simone guy. So I'll be over here. But akpride.com, it has all the information on the youth programs that we represent. Or just stop by the mall sometime and just buy stuff. Don't come see me, just stop by the mall. But thank you for your time.